Yes, yes. Now the recording has begun. I see 12 of us are there. Sandhya ma'am is missing. And others are also missing. Okay, never mind. We'll start. So today's topic is the 6 principles of Blue Ocean Strategy. Before that, can I see every one of you? Please unmute yourself.
Sir,
Thank you. Yeah, it's okay, Suresh. I can understand. Devashish ji, can you just unmute? Sandhya ma'am has joined. Great.
So same here, sir. I will be.
Okay, okay.
So sorry, I am unable to unmute my video.
No
There is
issue.
some issue,
No issue.
but I am online.
Okay. So you see, Blue Ocean Strategy is a wonderful strategic framework. And what is the specialty of this framework? This is the only framework which talks both about how to formulate it and how to execute it. In the last session of the fundamentals of Blue Ocean Strategy, we saw the two main pillars of Blue Ocean Strategy: value innovation and redrawing the market boundaries. That means how we can move from the red ocean of competition, loaded marketplace, fighting amongst ourselves for a share of the market, to an uncontested marketplace. Today, we are going to see another very important aspect of Blue Ocean. After this, we will move into the tools and the individual elements of the Blue Ocean. Today, we are going to see the principles of Blue Ocean Strategy, where we will see that these principles of Blue Ocean Strategy is divided into two parts. One is the formulation principle, the other is the execution principle. The formulation principles are 4 in number, and then we will come to the execution principle. We will go through all of these 6 today briefly, so that you will have an idea. This will form the foundation of the course which is to follow, where each and every individual principle is going to be understood and analyzed threadbare so that you can execute it. Let's start. So let's start with the 6 Blue Ocean Strategy principles, strategic guidelines designed to help businesses break out of the competition and create new market space, which is what is called Blue Ocean. The 6 principles provide a very structured roadmap for moving from the competition-driven and highly commoditized red ocean to uncontested blue ocean. It begins with reconstruction of market boundaries. We will understand what this reconstruction of market boundaries is. In simple words, it is to identify untapped market spaces in the segment that you are operating, whatever the segment may be. In the segment that you are operating, what are the untapped market spaces which are available? Let me ask a simple question. Raju sir, can you just unmute your video? Raju sir is a chartered accountant, a very, very capable and acknowledged expert in auditing, and has been in the market for a very long time. Can you identify the few untapped market spaces in your practice?
Okay. The untapped would be that, first of all, to know what is the market share, for example, let's say it could be ECG audit. ECG audit could be an area where traditional people cannot really go into it. Now, AI-based audit. So all the areas where
You are
there is
talking purely of audit. Again, you see, what is happening, see. In the same audit space, you are trying to carve out niche. That means you are reducing the market. Now think of moving in your profession from your practice into an uncontested market space where other auditors are not providing the services.
Okay,
I'm
I
not
can
talking about geography.
Yeah, I can talk about in my previous company we are in the business of trading, and we were sticking to the regular customers and all that. And that time I told them, why don't we look at the total market share and look at the segments which we have not targeted still. And where there is, so we found out that there's a substantial chunk of medium-sized players where there's a lot of potential, where we can do our services, where we can extend our services, and that has resulted in doubling the business. So basically into segments which we have not seen earlier, so we have entered into it and we were successful.
Very good. Now, let me give you an idea how Blue Ocean strategy works. Let us take this chartered accountancy business practice itself. You are auditing. What does your audit report talk of? It talks a lot about failures in processes. It talks a lot about missteps. It talks a lot about the economic loss which is occurring in the company. These are all areas which can be carved out separately as a service to your customer. And in the process, you create a blue ocean for yourself where no one else will enter. For instance, in addition to audit, you can offer quarterly audit of the processes of the organization and how to block leakages of funds. This is something which chartered accountants are not offering. This is a totally uncontested area. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
You can talk how to optimize process and documentation so that the administrative and the regulatory requirements of the company are safeguarded in the long run. This is another area which is a big failing for organizations, which is not being offered by anybody. Like this, what is the uncontested market space everywhere which is existing? How to identify it? That brings us to the next one. What is that? Focus on the big picture, not the numbers. You see, numbers is what mostly people focus on. Shift from incremental to breakthrough thinking. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, is this recording there?
Oh, I think so.
Okay, because I did not see that. So
Yeah, I think it is recording. Just a minute.
It's
Something
not
is
happening,
wrong.
sir.
Huh?
Not happening.
No, it is happening. It is happening.
This is showing recording.
Huh?
There is a icon which is showing recording going on.
Yeah, recording is going on.
okay. I could not see it. So it's okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Just a minute. The recording is going on.
Yeah, it's going on. It's showing on my monitor.
Oh, okay.
So Arun sir, just as an example, when we prepare a 5-year plan and all that, I ask the various people to tell what is the organic growth and the inorganic growth. Inorganic growth are the new initiatives where we are entering into new fields and tapping the untapped market.
You see, whenever you talk about tapping the untapped market, people usually think of untapped market within the tapped market area. But Blue Ocean strategy does not consider the tapped market at all. For instance, when we talk about Blue Ocean strategy for a chartered accountant's practice, we are not talking about audit market at all, whether it is small companies, medium companies, large companies, different types of audits that you do. We are not talking about that at all. What is it that the chartered accountant can add in terms of additional value to the customer, which nobody else is giving? For instance, which auditor is advising his company on plugging economic waste? Economic waste, as per the research says that 24% of the turnover goes away in economic waste. Can you beat it? 24%. Now, who is going to identify this economic waste and plug it? The auditor is in the best position to do that, because he is the only person who has access to all financial information. The entire value chain, the supply chain, he is the only person who is privy to. All that he needs to do is come out of the mindset of doing an audit of the firm's transactions once in a year. He has to do it on a quarterly basis, taking each segment and each silo of the organization and do it. He will be able to plug all the holes and in the process create a huge amount of benefit to the organization, a percentage of which, if he gets also, he will become a millionaire overnight. Are you getting what I am telling? What I'm saying, does it make sense? So you see, a chartered accountant can also be a good advisor in terms of plugging economic waste. So you see, but none of the chartered accountants offer this as a service to their clients.
Do you mean to say from macro to micro?
No. Don't confuse yourself with all these terms. These terms do not matter. What matters is that you should be entering into a segment which is totally uncontested by anybody in your industry currently. Now you see, usually companies plan incremental growth. But Blue Ocean strategy helps you into breakout thinking. You are not even thinking of incremental growth. You are thinking totally of something which is different from the market and the growth which is currently possible in the market. Third is reach beyond existing demand. How can you reach beyond existing demand? Who will answer this question to me? Where is this beyond existing demand?
Sir, as a coach, I have been focusing on adults, but children also need to be coached, which is not tapped till date. So that's an untapped market which is going beyond the things.
Okay, good.
Beyond the domain logic.
Correct. Beyond the domain dominant logic. That there is a dominant logic in the domain. That this is how business is done. When you transcend that dominant logic and define your business, you reach that stage where the existing market demand is transcended. Very right, Raju sir. We will be seeing how to do all these things, because that is what makes Blue Ocean strategy such a powerful strategy. Then, above all, you have to get the strategic sequence right. After A, B should come. After B, only C should come. You should not jump from A to B, then come back to C, and then go, A to D, and then come back to C, then D, B, and E, like that. No, straight. The sequence is very simple. This sequence is something which has to be followed. We will see what that sequence is. This sequence has got 4 steps. It starts with buyer utility. Why is the buyer purchasing what he's purchasing? Second comes to pricing. How do you price it? Third comes to costing. How do you cost your product? That means how much do you ensure your product costs you so that at the price that you can sell, you will make a profit. Finally, how do you adopt it so that you can succeed with the product by creating a successful product market fit? You know, as I was telling, the 2023 NASSCOM observation was that over 80% of the company startups fail because of poor market product fit. This strategic sequence will ensure that that market product fit never fails. That brings us to the key organization hurdles. Now we are entering into the execution strategy. So far, you have created the formulation strategy. The formulation strategy is how do you identify the market, redraw the market boundaries, redefine the market in which you are operating. How do you ensure that instead of incremental growth, you reach breakout growth? That means the growth is exponential. You don't go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, you go from 1 to 11 to 20 to 30. Third is, how do you do it? You cannot do it with the existing customer base, the existing market, dominant logic. So how do you break this market dominant logic and identify non-customers, people who are not your customer? How do you identify them? And then how do you create the strategic sequence? The current strategic sequence being understanding buyer utility, why a person is buying, understanding what the price is willing to give, creating the cost for the product which will ensure that you will make profit out of it, and finally adopting it for the market and creating the value proposition which will make it sell. This far is your strategy, the formulation of the strategy. Now you are entering into the execution part of it. Every strategy is going to face some sort of a hurdle within the organization. How do you overcome those hurdles? And finally, how do you build execution into your strategy so that you know whether you want it or not, the strategy will get executed? It is not a question of a person driving the strategy. It is the strategy driving the strategy which ensures that the strategy is successful. This is the beauty of Blue Ocean strategy. As I was telling you last time, Blue Ocean strategy was first propounded in 2005. But what happened was people could not understand it. You see, just imagine if somebody, if I were, even now, I'm telling you, you must be very hazy how this is possible. What is there to redraw in a market? The boundaries of the market are very well defined. We have been, working within this market space, the boundaries for hundreds of years. How can we redraw it? Yes, it can be redrawn. Then comes usually, and through our practice and experience, we know that incremental growth is what is possible. 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. That's how things grow. In fact, they say every drop adds to the ocean. But here we are talking about going from 1 to 20 to 40 to 100. How is that sort of a breakthrough growth possible? Third thing is we are talking about going beyond existing demand. That means what? There is a market. As Michael Porter said, all business is a fight for economic space. The economy of a particular space is defined, and all the companies which enter try to fight and take a share out of it. That's what we have learned. That's what we have practiced. That's what we have experienced and seen. Then how can we transcend this and see where the non-customer is? Then comes the strategic sequence. At least that makes a certain degree of sense. That you have to first understand what the customer wants, then go to the price which he is willing to pay, and cost your product according to that price so that you will get your margin, and then adopt it, create the value proposition, and present it. Then come the three organizational hurdles. Every organization is a group of people. Each person will have his own thinking. So how do you overcome those hurdles and all think as one? And finally, the most tricky part of it is embedding execution into your strategy so that the strategy operates itself. Now, the 6-path framework for market reconstruction. Let's see. You see, market reconstruction is a totally separate class. So here I will help you to get an idea of how the market reconstruction has been done by some of the very successful companies. There are different strategies that can be used, and we will see what those strategies are. We will take the example and then see what that person did. Let us take the example of NetJets. He looked across alternate industries. You see, the promoter of NetJets, he saw that businesses and wealthy individuals either bought private jets or traveled first class, which was very, very, costly and inconvenient. So what did he do? He created NetJets, a blue ocean, by offering fractional jet ownership, allowing customers to pay only for the time they used the jet. For that period of time, it was their private jet. They could fly it wherever they want. All that they had to do was hire that jet for that period of time. It was their jet for that period. They could use it in whichever way they wanted, and they could use it for a fraction of the cost that they would spend for either a private jet or a first class travel all over the world. What happened? NetJets redefined air travel for executives, blending luxury with affordability. Top executives of the companies, promoters, rich people, now they could have the benefit of a private jet for a fraction of the cost it will be. Because owning a jet has many other incidental costs also. All that was gone. You didn't have to maintain it, you didn't have hangar costs, you didn't have airport costs, nothing. You need not have to appoint, people to, fly the craft, pilots, none of those costs was there. The second one was Ralph Lauren Polo. We all know about the polo shirt, polo t-shirt. This person looked across strategic groups within the industry. While NetJets looked outside the industry at the user, he looked within the industry. The fashion industry had luxury goods, Gucci, Chanel, and all those things, and mass market brands like Walmart, Fashion, and Gap, and other things. This guy decided that let me try to find something which will be mass as well as unique and prestige, and came out, he created a name, a phrase which came into use in English business language of mastige. That means mass plus prestige, offering premium quality at a mid-tier price. That is what Ralph Polo did. Polo became a global brand appealing to aspirational customers. This was another blue ocean which was created. The third is Novo Nordisk insulin. Traditionally, doctors were the target market for insulin manufacturers, as I was discussing last time also. Novo Nordisk shifted its focus to diabetic patients, the end users. And thereby making insulin pens easier to use and more patient-friendly. Before the pens came, the patients had to go constantly to the clinic to take the injection. But now with the Novo Nordisk pen, the Flexi pen and the pen fill and other things coming, and then they started the patient education program where they started directly dealing with the patients. The doctor was sidestepped. Novo Nordisk dominated the market by simplifying insulin delivery for their patients. Then comes Nintendo. This was a time when the gaming industry was taken by the storm by Xbox and PlayStation. They were offering expensive consoles. Nintendo, what did they do? They introduced the motion control gaming, making it accessible to casual gamers, families, and seniors. They brought it to the drawing room for everyone and at a very affordable price. The Nintendo created a new customer base beyond traditional gamers and outsold the competition for years. Even today, they are the number one in the gaming industry. Starbucks. This is a royal example. Started Starbucks coffee. Coffee was always a functional commodity served cheaply in all sorts of shops and across the highways. But what does Starbucks do? Transform coffee into an emotional experience. Offering a premium ambience, personalized drink, and lifestyle brand. People, they said the third place, that was their catchphrase. Means what? You have the home, you have the office, and Starbucks is the third place which will give you the benefit of both. Go sit there, nurse a coffee as long as you want, do whatever you want. Nobody is going to question you. Second thing is the experience was highly personalized. The moment you land in Starbucks, they ask for your name, they write your name in the cup, they call you by the name, and the cup with your name is handed over to you. Everything is so personalized, it became an emotional experience. Customers are willing to pay 10 times the price of regular coffee for a Starbucks experience. It was amazing. Then comes the Apple iTunes. Everyone knows what happened with Apple iTunes. The music industry collapsed due to illegal downloads. Napster, privacy, all these people, they started giving everything that was available illegally. Apple saw the shift to digital music and launched iTunes, offering a legal, affordable, convenient way to buy and load the music online, the music that you wanted. iTunes revolutionized the music industry and paved the way for streaming services. Again, they created a totally new market, and the market which is even now standing. Now, how do you apply this 6-path framework? That means what? You look across alternative industries, look across strategic groups within the industry, look across the chain of buyers, look across complementary products and services offering, look across functional and emotional appeals, look across time. Totally, this iTunes has stood the test of time. What will the future be like if you can visualize? You can create a blue ocean for yourself. Now, how do you apply it? It's very simple. Every industry has its uniqueness. First and foremost, identify which pathway applies to your industry. You've got 6 different pathways now in front of you. Which one applies to your industry, you see? Be it as an employee or as an entrepreneur, which one applies to your industry? That is very important to understand, because only that which applies to your industry, you will be able to use. Second thing is analyze. What do you analyze here? The existing customer pains. You see, even though service is being given, every customer has still some pain left out which can be addressed, which is left unaddressed. What are the unmet needs? In each of these cases, you will see that it is the addressing the pain and the unmet need which helped. For instance, what did Xbox and PlayStation do? It catered to the young children of the house. What about the mid-level, middle-aged people or the old people? There was nothing. That is where Nintendo came in. Look at coffee. Coffee was a very, what do you call it, a 10 rupee, 5 rupee drink. And it was available in restaurants and roadside coffee stalls. What did, Starbucks do? It created an ambience where anyone and everyone could go, sit, relax in an air-conditioned chamber, air-conditioned place, complete his work, do his work, have the best of coffee and the most personalized of services. They were willing to pay for it. They started paying 200, 300 rupees for it. So you see, every one of them looked at the existing customer pain points. Buying a jet or traveling by first class was a very costly affair. But what did fractional jet ownership do? The hassles of buying a jet, maintaining a fleet of employees for flying the jet, all that was bypassed, because you are not going to be flying the jet every day. But if you buy a jet, you will have to have all the paraphernalia servicing it so that you can fly maybe once in a month or twice in a month. But when you have the fractional ownership possibility with the jets, all that problem went away and a totally new segment was created. Third, develop what? a strategy canvas. A strategy canvas, we will be seeing what a strategy canvas is, which will help you identify the gaps in the market. Who is doing what, where the gap is, which you can fill up. It is a visual representation of opportunities that exist, which is otherwise not visible. When you draw a strategy canvas, you will immediately be able to see and capitalize on the opportunities which are existing behind the screen. What happens is, you see, as I was telling someone the other day, when you are looking in the north direction, everything which is there in east, south, and west, you are blindsided. You can't see it. But that does not mean it doesn't exist. They exist. But since you are looking in the north, and visual activity is linear in one direction only, the same thing works with the brain also. A strategic canvas is a two-dimensional way of visualizing the opportunities to the gaps which exist in the market that you are operating in. That brings us to the final step, prototype and test. Whatever you have decided, you have identified one of the paths being the most ideal for your industry. You analyze the existing customer pain points. You put all that in the strategic canvas and develop a strategy for it. Now, having developed the strategy, you prototype and test it, and then launch your product. This is how you apply the 6-path framework, and we will be doing it in at least 2 to 3 workshops during the course. And the 12 workshops which we'll be doing after the course, we'll be doing all these things so that you will get a first-hand experience of how to do it. You see, all these things might sound very big, but they are not. Believe me, Blue Ocean strategy is very, 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 very simple. Very simple. Very practical. It's all common sense. All these big sounding words really do not matter much. You will see when we do it that it is going to be extraordinarily simple for you to do it. Now let's understand a bit about incremental and breakthrough thinking. What is this incremental thinking and what is this breakthrough thinking?
Incremental means step by step.
Breakthrough means it's exponential. Usually, our mind is tuned to incremental thinking. That is because we have been tuned through the journey to adulthood to think in a linear fashion. It's only a child which thinks in a breakthrough fashion. A child does not think in linear fashion. For him, logic does not work. Now we will see the first one, focus. What is the focus? The focus of incremental thinking is competing in the same market with better efficiency. You are in a market, you are doing things in a particular way, your output is 60%. What is your next step? You want to take that to 90% out, right? Am I right or wrong?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That is efficiency, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
That is incremental thinking. But what is breakthrough thinking? Competing new uncontested marketplace. You don't even think of this existing market. Just imagine you are the only person in a particular market. Like, there is this story of a person having gone to the tundra, the Antarctica, or to the Arctic Circle, and he says he is a shoe salesperson. He sends a message to his office. No one wears shoes, no scope for selling shoes. Along with him, another person has come, a shoe salesman. He sends a telegram to the office, send the entire stock of shoes, no one wears shoes here. The first one was thinking incrementally. Since no one is wearing, how can I sell? The other was thinking in breakthrough. Since no one is wearing, Everyone requires shoes. So this was an uncontested market and a contested market. That is the difference. Approach. What is the approach for incremental thinking? Forecasting, budgeting, goal setting. Am I correct or not? Isn't that what we are all taught to do?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
See, even to my own mentees and to my people whom I advise in consulting, I talk of first create a forecasting, budget, then have a particular goal where you should focus. All these things I tell them only because for the simple reason that you first need to be able to understand how to work in an incremental market space before you reach breakthrough thinking or the blue ocean, where you talk of market reconstruction and value innovation. You are not even bothered about the current market. To be able to talk of reconstruction and value innovation, you first need to master the current market that you are on. But once you are a master of your current market, now you can break out and go into market reconstruction. Why? Can any one of you tell me what is the key here? What is the key principle behind this?
So once you understand the market and also the gap, it becomes easier for you to identify what innovation you can bring it.
No, sorry. I can't agree with you there. You have to safeguard what you have currently before you can look at something new. If already you are struggling with what you have and you try to do a breakthrough thinking, what happens to this?
Existing thing is better.
Existing will also get into jeopardy. So, you see, supposing you are doing 100 crore turnover, the first objective should be to safeguard that 100 crore. As you safeguard that 100 crore, you start thinking in terms of breakthrough thinking. You retain this 100 and then break out and go to 500 by creating an uncontested market space. That is the whole idea behind it. Either if you are an existing business, you safeguard what you have and create an uncontested market space. Or if you are a new business, you don't even look at what the market is, you create an uncontested market space. That means for existing entrepreneurs, you first safeguard what you have, then break through. For new startup founders, you don't bother about what is, straight away go for breakthrough. This is the difference between incremental and breakthrough, how you use it. There are many people here who are already like Mr. Balakrishnan. He is already having a company. Like Yogesh, he is already having a company. Now you see, to ask them to leave that, allow it to sink, and try to experiment with breakthrough marketing, that's not right. Mr. Balakrishnan, Yogesh need to first and foremost safeguard what they have, consolidate it. And once that is consolidated and the returns continue stably to come, now they can plan for a breakthrough. But at the same time, if Mr. Raju were thinking in terms of coming out from his employment and starting a practice on his own, or if Sandhya ma'am is thinking of coming out of employment and starting an HR consultancy firm of her own, then they should not be thinking of incremental and the current market space, but try to break out into an entirely uncontested market space where there are no competitors. There is no other HR consulting working or no other chartered accountancy firm practicing. Because they can start off there and then go for exponential growth. That would be a very, very sound strategy to implement. Am I clear? Any response?
It is getting clear, sir.
No mental gymnastics. We come to the next one. Customer. See, I was telling you, na? In incremental thinking, you are targeting the customer. So what do you talk? You talk about cross-selling, upselling, customer service, customer experience, customer excellence, everything. All these things you talk. Because you are talking about the existing customer. What more can you sell to him? Supposing the ticket size of a purchase is 1,000 rupees, you start planning how I can increase the ticket size this year to 1,200 rupees. I'm sure you people understand what I mean by ticket size. Supposing an average invoice size is 1,000, you start planning how I can increase it to 1,200. If a customer, on an average, supposing you've got 100 customers in your company, on average, they purchase 3 products, you plan how do I increase it to 4 products. If a person is selling 2 units, you start thinking, how can I increase it to 3 units? You upskill, cross-sell, upsell, increase the ticket size. All these things are targeting the existing customer. But what happens? The existing customer could be a person who is already buying from you or a person who is buying from your competitor but not from you. Then you start targeting, bringing that guy to you, but then he is also an existing customer base only. He is not outside that. But in the case of breakthrough thinking, you target non-customers to unlock new demand. Now there is a new word which is coming in, non-customer. What is the difference between existing customer who is not buying from you and a non-customer? This very subtle distinction is important in blue ocean strategy.
Sir, non-customer is people who is not even aware of the usage of our product, but we are creating the need for it and making them buy our product.
Excellent, excellent. That is one of the type of non-customers. There are 3 different types of non-customers. There are 3 different types of non-customers. Customers who are moving away because they are not satisfied with the product, they are non-customers. Customers who refuse to even consider your product because they are not convinced at all about it. And third, who are totally unaware of it. This is where the uncontested market space lies. That is why the value innovation is such an important concept in blue ocean strategy, because value innovation is the only way you can attract the non-customers to you in such a way that they do not gravitate towards your competitors. We will see how that happens. Blue ocean strategy is sheer common sense. There is nothing, no mental gymnastics is required in it. If your nuances of management are very fundamentally sound, you will be able to understand this and execute it very easily. Growth. Again, growth focuses on incremental improvements. This year you have done, after tax profit, net profit of 2 crores, you plan a net profit of 2.5 crores, a 25% growth. But here you aim for exponential disruptive growth. Just imagine, within a matter of 4 or 5 decades, not 4 or 5 decades, I think iPhone was launched in 2007, am I right? In 2 decades, Apple has gone from a startup to the richest company in the world. It has reserves more than the United States government. That is the power of breakthrough thinking. It aims for exponential growth, disruptive growth, growth which cannot be explained in simple terms. Competition. In incremental thinking, you are constantly trying to beat the competitors. And in breakthrough thinking, you make the competitor irrelevant because there is no competition. You are looking at totally a different segment of people who are not attached to the current set of competition. And then finally, cost value. Constantly, you are focusing on cost cutting and operational efficiency in case of incremental thinking. Whereas in breakthrough thinking, you create high value offering without increasing cost. That means the entire increase in value is converted into a value capture and increased profit for you. Price and cost are things which do not feature in Blue Ocean strategy. All that features is profits and value. What a totally different paradigm shift. So the question is, how do you shift from this incremental thinking to breakthrough thinking? How do you create this shift? Instead of focusing on competitors, focus on customer pain points, not competition. Because where is the revenue? Please understand one thing. We constantly talk about customer pain point and value creation. Value creation means addressing and resolving the pain point of the customer and creating gains for the customer. We talk about it, but we constantly think of competition, market, dominant logic. We totally forget the pain point of the customer. The first thing we should do is never lose sight of the pain point of the customer. The customer pain point is the most important thing. You see, just imagine, as I was telling. Yes, Raju sir, can you just unmute your video? Raju sir, can you unmute the video?
Yeah. 1 second, 1 second. I'm not able to do it, but
Okay, never mind. You tell me, what is the dominant logic of the audit industry?
Certifying the financial statements.
Correct? What is the pain point here?
The troubles, the customer has internal troubles or internal loopholes.
No, that is the pain point which you are addressing is the regulatory demand by the government for auditing an organization.
Yes.
So that, they will know that what he is telling as he has made as a profit against which he has paid a tax is correct. This is all the pain point. Since the government cannot go and audit every individual book of all the companies, it has created an agency called Chartered Accountant, whose responsibility it is to audit and tell the government, no, this guy has done his whatever statement he has given as profit and loss is correct.
Yeah, third party opinion. Yeah.
Third party opinion. This is the dominant logic. Now you see what we have done. We have mixed up the whole thing for the simple reason, for the education that you have had as a chartered accountant and for the expertise you have had. You see, in the process of doing this, there are so many things you come across. Good, bad, ugly, everything you see, isn't it?
Yes.
And you can contribute in such a huge way for the development of the company because of all these years of experience of playing the balancing act between the government and the entrepreneur.
Yes.
You have also seen so many pain points of the entrepreneur. His inability to maintain accounts properly, his inability to record the processes properly and adequately, his inability to check losses and the leakages, his inability to financially, utilize and optimize the money which he has in his hand. All these things you have seen, huh?
Yes.
All these things are pain points. Why you don't look at that? Are you getting my point?
Yeah, I get the point, but over there's something called a conflict of interest. Now, auditors.
Now again, dominant logic. Why are you thinking of yourself only as an auditor, not as an expert? Why can't you be an advisor? Do you need to have the hang on your throat, that title called an auditor? Can't you become a financial advisor and a guide and a mentor and a coach?
Yeah. But the same client, you cannot be an auditor as well as a financial advisor.
don't be. You want an uncontested market space. How many financial advisors and coaches are there who are doing this? Who are also auditors? Move out. Get into a different space, uncontested market space. That space is totally vacant. Why do you
Yes.
want to be an auditor and fight in a highly commoditized red ocean? Does my question make sense?
Yeah, yeah. That is the reason why all the big four have several branches,
Yeah.
different. Yeah, yeah.
Number two, see, look at the pain points. Don't focus on the competition. If you are going to focus on the competition as an auditor, you will constantly be thinking what extra I can give, and then what is it you can give? Lesser fees. Make your fees more affordable. Because ultimately it is only a question of certifying the balance sheet at the end of the day, the profit and loss statement. Then you are into a commoditized market again. But when you start looking at the customer pain points, so many things open up. Second, challenge in industry assumptions, like just now we challenged. What if we added a key element? What if we removed auditing totally from our list? Remove it. Then see what happens. With your expertise, with your education, if you remove auditing, what can you give? Only advice, guidance, how to increase profit, how to plug losses, how to plug the leakages. All this only you can give because you have removed audit totally from the menu card. Identify non-customers who is not using your product, services, and why. Just imagine when you say identify non-customers who are not using this product and why, because they don't know such a benefit can be given by auditors. For them, the dominant logic is auditor. In the end of the year, he will ask for all our books. He will send his people. They will go through everything. They will make an audit report. He will sign it. And then I will have to submit it to the government. This is what audit all about is. The very aggressive companies, what do they say? They tell the auditor, show me this much of profit. Cook the books. Am I right or not, Raju sir? This is all that happens. This is the amount of leverage that they take.
It's not ethically correct.
But it is done. I totally agree with you. It is not correct. Neither the company should do it, nor the auditor should do it. But then traditionally, this is what has been happening. And you see, I don't blame any of the auditors because they also have to survive now. When others are being unscrupulous, if you are going to say, I am going to be Raja Harishchandra, you will find yourself only in the burial yard, in the cremation ground, where Raja Harishchandra found himself. So that is what happens. But when you start looking at things differently, you see lots of things in front of you. All that you need to do is sit and think. Identify non-customers who is not using your product or services and why he is not using it. Possibly because he doesn't even know that he can get this benefit from you. Now you use the 4-action framework. We saw now ERRC, eliminate, reduce, raise, create. Use that ERRC grid. With the current situation that you find yourself in, what is it that you can eliminate? What is it you can reduce? What is it you can raise? What is it you can create? Just imagine, supposing an auditor were to say, I will not offer audit as a service. Number two, what does he reduce? He reduces the work of the company and takes it upon himself to analyze and suggest solutions so that there are leakages, the leakages and other things are reduced. What does he raise? He raises involvement in the organization's processes, understanding them and recommending corrections. And in the process, he creates a totally new menu card for services and creates a blue ocean for himself as a corporate advisor, financial advisor. He can do that. Offhand, we can think of such things. And finally, focus on value innovation. What extra value can you give for a much lesser price? Both cost effectiveness as well as increase value to the customer. Cost effectiveness for you so that your profits go up, and increase value innovation, value for your customer so that he stays stuck with you. And your competitor will not be able to understand what happened, why it is that they are unable to pull them away from you. Attracting non-customers to create an uncontested market space. Now let's understand very briefly the three different types of non-customers. Most businesses focus on their existing customer base, improving products, competing within their industry. However, Blue Ocean strategy challenges this idea and takes you beyond the customer to look at and unlock new demand. There are three types. The first type is soon to be non-customer. That means the person who is moving away from you. The first trial is they are dissatisfied with the current offering and looking for alternatives. Their pain points is not being addressed. Second, they are refusing to be, these are the people who refuse to be dragged into the market. They don't see value in the industry. They simply don't see value. And they think it's all a waste of time. And third are the unexplored non-customers, like Suresh was telling, people who don't even know that you exist. That such an offering exists. There are many people who don't know that such a thing exists. People who have never considered the industry as being of use to them. Now let us see one by one. We will break them. The first, soon to be non-customers. Who are they? The soon to be non-customers? Customers who are on the edge of leaving the industry. Why they are leaving the industry? Because they are dissatisfied with the current offering and looking for alternatives. Now, how do you attract them? You attract them by addressing their pain points and giving them a reason to stay. Remember, a person who is leaving, if you give him a reason to stay, he will not go back to the person from whom he was moving away. He will stay with you. If you can identify that group of customers who are leaving the industry and going away, and in the process, you pull them to yourself by addressing their problems, you will find that you will be able to create an uncontested space for yourself. See, traditional CRM software was expensive, difficult to implement, and required heavy IT support. Am I correct in this observation? When CRM came in the beginning, it was very expensive. You had to buy it. It was difficult to implement. And it required heavy IT support, and many companies still follow that policy, that way of doing things, and they are disgusted with it. Then came Salesforce. With their cloud-based CRM solutions. Introduced a cloud-based subscription model that was easy to adopt and scalable. That means they captured, that is the reason why, Salesforce has become the #1 CRM provider the world over. Even though they were not the first people to come. They created a blue ocean. And then their cloud-based CRM solutions became the best in the world. And today they are the undoubted leaders of that area. Identify their biggest pain points and remove the bottlenecks, and then you have the simpler, cheaper, and more convenient alternative. Now let us see the next one. Those who are refusing, non-customers, people who consciously avoid the industry, they don't see the value in the industry's offering, offer something radically different that will solve their problem. Who they are? People who consciously avoid the industry. Why they don't buy? Because they don't see any value in the industry offering. How to attract them? Offer something radically different that solves their concern. The best example is iTunes. See, when carrying digital music was difficult, there was lots of piracy and you had to buy a whole lot of songs at the same time. iTunes came. You could download one by one only those songs which you wanted. You did not have to be loaded with all the things that you had that came as a bundle. People loved it. It was small. It was very, very convenient. The iPod was small. The iTunes was something which, it was very secure. They offered a new value proposition, so it solved all their objections. Many music lovers refused to buy CDs because they were expensive, inconvenient, and limited in their selection. You bought a CD, one song was good, everything else was crap. Apple iTunes created a new market by selling individual songs at what are the cost? $0.99, solving the affordability and convenience issue. Millions of people who never bought CDs legally became digital music buyers. 0.99, whereas a regular CD, what it used to cost. It was huge. And then you could get one song, good song in it, and 20 crap. That could be avoided with the iTunes. Then the third is the unexplored non-customer. Who they were? People who have never considered the industry. Why don't they buy? They don't see it as relevant to their needs. How to attract them? Create a new market space by redefining the industry. Can any one of you tell me something which is, even in this world, this is possible? Can any one of you tell?
Old people who were not taking the mobile phones, some non-feature phone company offered a new featureless phone for those people.
Very simple. Jan Dhan Yojana, Grameen Bank. When Modi ji spoke about opening bank account, do you realize how much the opposition and everyone laughed? Grameen Bank got Mohammad Yunus the Nobel Prize. Micro loan to rural poor who had never used traditional banks. It totally redefined banking industry. Today there are so many NBFCs. Jan Dhan Yojana, poor who had never considered, never used traditional banks, today they are banking. That is the unexplored non-customers. People were talking about what will they do. He said zero balance account. Said, why the hell are you opening zero balance account? Modi ji was a visionary who could see that today you are opening a zero balance account, but the existence of the account will ensure that these people will start saving and develop financial independence. And that's precisely what happened. That's precisely what happened. Traditional banks ignored low-income individuals because they lacked credit history and collateral. Millions of people had no access to financial services. all these these Grameen Bank type of banks offered micro loans without collateral, enabling small entrepreneurs to start business. Result, a completely new customer base. Women, small farmers, artisans who have never used bank before became customers of banks, and the banks exploded. The economy started rising. Now, how to apply these? The question is, how do we identify these people? That's a very valid question, isn't it? If you don't know how to identify them, it will all remain purely as a conjecture or as a theory. That is where Blue Ocean Strategy goes a step forward in converting this into a practical reality. How to identify them? How to identify the three types of non-customers? First, ask the question. Just a minute. Who is leaving your industry? Identify who is leaving your industry. Who has rejected your industry? Which sector has rejected that I'm not interested in being here? 3, who has never considered your industry? Next, is it too expensive? Is what you are producing too expensive? Is it too complex? Second is complexity. The third is it irrelevant to the people? What is the relevance of what you are providing to the segment? Answer this question very, very frankly as an outsider, not as someone who is biased in favor of the product. Number 3, eliminate all the unnecessary features. There are so many features which are not required in a product. Eliminate unnecessary features that increase cost without adding any value. It really does not add a value. We keep it only because someone else has it. This is what is called the war of the Joneses. Don't do that. Then reduce complexity and make it very user-friendly, as simple as it is. As they say, genius is in simplicity. Any fool can make it complex, and most fools do. So let us keep it as simple as possible. Reduce all the complexity in it. And finally, create an emotional appeal. There has to be an emotional appeal to what you are offering. Then only you will be able to attract the untapped customers. Now let's come to the fourth part of the functional principle. The formulation principle. Fourth part of the formulation principle, which is getting the strategic sequence right. Buyer utility. Does the product deliver exceptional value to the customer? See, there are a number of things which you have to check in this. So buyer utility is a separate masterclass in itself. After that, we will be having a workshop on buyer utility, because these next three are very, 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 very important. Buyer utility. Then price. Is the price acceptable to the mass buyer? How do you price a product? You see, there are many ways of pricing. 2 of them are very, very popular with the entrepreneur and the management people. Can any one of you tell me what are the 2 ways of pricing?
Activity-based costing.
Cost plus and
Activity-based costing.
perceived costing.
Ruji, cost driven and value driven.
Tell me, how do you price a product?
On what basis the customer perceive is one way, and another is what is the raw material cost, process cost, and you add up and have another percentage for profit, and that is a cost plus way of costing.
Beautiful. These are the 2 ways usually it is done, isn't it?
By value adding, sir.
Yeah, you add value, everything, there will be a cost to that. So what you do is you add up all the cost, add the margin and price the product. Am I correct? Second is you see what is the cost of the competitor, direct competitor of yours, and then you price it according to that. These are the two ways usually pricing is done. Am I right or wrong? Arey Baba, all you have to do is say yes or no. Why the
No.
hesitation even in that?
It is correct. It is correct. That's what's happening now. Yeah.
Okay, these
So
are the
you
two
have
ways.
made so simple, sir. It's a the
Isn't that how
costing.
it is priced, Bala?
Yes, yes, of course.
Now, what is it that Blue Ocean strategy is going to talk about pricing, which is so very different? Is the price acceptable to mass buyers? Then, third, can we profitably deliver at this price, the cost? We have to be able to produce it at that price, only then we will be able to do business. This is the fourth step of the strategic sequence. First, you decide whether the product is delivering exceptional value. Number two, please understand one thing. As an individual, you are a product for your company, for the employees, I'm telling. As an individual, you are a product for the company and you have to keep an eye on all these four. Because are you delivering exceptional value to your organization and your superiors? Number one. Number two, is the price they are paying for this correct? Have you priced yourself out of the market, or is it, have you underpriced yourself? Because many people, they price themselves out of the competition. They lose and don't grow. And many of them, they underprice themselves. So they are given just a pat in the back and they never get the promotion. Then, can we profitably deliver at this price? The price at which the buyer is willing to buy your boss and the company, can you deliver? Can you benefit from that? And then finally, what barriers might prevent customer acceptance? How can you ensure that it is adopted? This is the strategic sequence. These are very, 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 very important because this decides whether the product is going to find a market fit or not. If you are not going to follow this sequence, the market is not going to accept the product. And then you are going to become a statistics of 2023 NASSCOM report. 80% companies failed because it did not find a market fit. Overcome organizational hurdles. It is so easily said. Organizational hurdles. Can any one of you tell me what are the organizational hurdles? What does Blue Ocean strategy mean when it talks of organizational hurdles?
Inertia.
Okay.
Mindset.
Huh?
Mindset and limitations that we will settle here itself. This is our scope, this is our boundary. We need not explore a lot.
Guruji, it can be that the huge finance involved, it needed big resources as the volume is more and the profit margin is less.
Skills and competencies.
So
Not willing to rock the boat.
Okay. So you see, as you start thinking deeper, you find that organizational hurdles can be of many types. Right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
It's not very simple. Many people, when they think of organizational hurdles, they restrict themselves to one particular thing. That is what sort of a resistance will come from people. But as you rightly said, cognitive hurdle is a major hurdle, convincing employees of the need for change. Because when you are transiting from a red ocean to a blue ocean, you are leaving familiar ground for an unknown area. The fear of the unknown is very dominant in everybody's mind. The fear of the unknown is what is called as convincing employees of the need for change, a cognitive hurdle. Now see, the second very dangerous thing with blue ocean strategy when you start implementing it is, you are trying to achieve much more with a resource which is already tied up in the particular business. In trying to save your organization, in trying to run the organization as it is today, your resources are all already tied up. And as per Saras Saraswati's effectuation principle, any change has to be driven only with the resources that you currently have. You can't go in search of new resources. So the second is the resource hurdle, achieving more with limited resources which are already tied. Already you have got only limited resources and that is also tied. This is another dangerous hurdle which you have to overcome. Number 3, can any one of you tell me what is the third one? The third one is called the motivational hurdle, because you have now got to energize employees to drive change against what they have believed, practiced, and experienced till then. Because what are you doing when you are working with Blue Ocean strategy? You are challenging the dominant logic of the industry. When you are challenging the dominant logic of the industry, you have to work with a very big problem with motivation of the people. Many of them will think, "Arey yaar, ye sab kahan hoga? Where this will work? Why we are all running after this?" There is so much to do. Already the company is fighting the competition. Now, now the management has come up with something totally different. And they are telling we have to retain that and also do this. There is a huge motivational hurdle. How do we overcome that? Then comes the final and the most dangerous, because this is a very silent thing, called the political hurdle, managing resistance from powerful internal and external stakeholders. Someone said, don't rock the boat. That is precisely what this is. Both external and internal stakeholders will come up with powerful resistance. How you are going to work with that? This is also a very important aspect of execution principle. Overcoming organizational hurdles. And they have done it so beautifully, There is a total clear understanding of how to go about handling the cognitive hurdle. How do you go about convincing employees of the need for change? Then the resource hurdle. How do you achieve more with the limited resources already tied up in the existing operations? Third is, how do you energize and drive and empower the employees to take up change as a major challenge? And finally, how do you get the people who will be the hurdle, both internally and externally, to be the drivers of the concept? We will be seeing all that in this will be an exclusive, program. Maybe more than one class will be required for this. We will do it. Then comes embedding execution in strategy. Now, as I was telling, that the strategy has to be such that execution has to be embedded in it so that we can drive it without failure. Any system which runs by itself is more beneficial to the organization than a system which is driven by people. So the objective should always be to create a system which runs by itself. That is what embedding execution into strategy all about. Let us see it in a very superficial way. You start with the why. Help the employees and stakeholders understand the necessity of change. How do you do that? You use data, stories, industry strengths to shift individuals' mindset. You just don't tell them, you show them. You know, there is this tell and show strategy where, as you are telling, you show them the data, tell them the stories which will stick to their mind, and show them the trends that are shifting in the industry, and thereby help the employees to understand why change is necessary. The second is you engage the stakeholders through a fair process. You explain to them. You create clarity by defining the roles that each one is going to play in the execution. Define the roles in execution. Allow employees to contribute with ideas. Allow employees to come up with how they would like to execute their part of the role. And record everything so that there is clarity and logic behind the choices that are made. The third is address execution barriers early. There will be key resistors and people who would not be interested in taking up things themselves. You reallocate resources to high impact areas. You decide, we will be seeing a particular strategy called the cold spot, hot spot relocation. That will explain to you how to go about identifying high impact and low impact areas. And you relocate people to high impact areas, resources to high impact areas, so that the results will be faster and you will be reaching the tipping point. Focus on quick solutions. Quick wins, the tipping point leadership. Don't drag issues. Showcase small early successes to build confidence. The more people see success, the more confident they will be. So help them identify quick successes so that they will be able to build better confidence in themselves. Focus on quick wins. Target influential individuals who can drive change. Put them in high impact areas. Show them the small victories that they are bringing, the early successes, to build momentum, because influential individuals, when they feel they are contributing more than others, they will drive it in a more purposeful manner. And finally, align incentives with strategy. Remember one thing, every individual is operating on only one, what you call it, spectrum, what's in it for me. So you'll have to align rewards with strategy. Reward behaviors that support the new strategy, encourage experimentation and learning, but at the same time, reward behavior that support the new strategy. That brings about the embedding of execution into strategy. Each one of these 6 we will be seeing in a very serious way. Each one of them we will take as a separate masterclass and see how to go about doing it. Any questions? Yes, Suresh.
Yeah, instead of a question, I would like to share an experience. Is it okay?
Sure, please.
Yeah, actually my cousin, her name is Anu. She is based at Delhi and running an NGO. She was initially focusing on nursing senior citizens at their home. And she found that the industry was very competitive. And then what she did, she took a bold move and she moved to Himachal Pradesh for apple growers who are not able to transport their apples to the city in time. Thereby, there were losses. today her business is booming like anything. And while you are talking about it, I could relate it and look at how Blue Ocean strategy she has applied in in a very radical way, moving away from nursing, home care to Apple and other industry.
Very good. Very good. Now, friends, one thing. Yeah, can you all unmute your video? Yes, Mr. Devashish Sinha, you want to ask something? Yeah. No, you see, we are all talking about strategy, 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 strategy. And I have found that many people have a lot of difficulty in absorbing it and assimilating it into their daily practices. Am I right in assuming that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
True, sir, true.
Why? I'll tell you the reason why it is happening. Because possibly, we are busy. You see, the mind is a linear animal. When it sees a particular incident happening, it immediately goes back. The mind, how does it work? It works as a Velcro. Something happens, the Velcro, has got two sheets. On one side, you have the hook, the other side, you have the trap. So what happens when they both come, the hook goes into the trap and it sticks. That is how the neocortex and the subconscious together work. When something happens, the neocortex, the conscious mind holds it, catches it, immediately sends the stimulus to the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind starts looking for something similar to what has happened now in the past, and then it takes and gives it to the subconscious and this is the solution. If you have to rework on that, you have to understand the nuances of management. What are the nuances of management? Tell me one thing. I want to know one thing. What is the most important function of a manager?
Get the work done.
Then
Manage resources and people and give the desired results that the organization is looking for.
this is precisely what Bala also said. Only thing is he said it in a short way. See how wrong we are. See how wrong we are. What is the function of a manager? Simple question. Before you get the job done, you have to do something. What is that? Before you decide upon the process, the strategies and everything, you have to do something. What is that?
You have to also look at the opportunities and potential of people.
Before that, you have to do. What is that? This will continue, Suresh. If you don't know, the best solution is to say, I don't know. Otherwise, I'll keep asking this question.
Planning, sir.
Before that, what do you do?
Job to be done.
Huh?
Job to be done.
Expectations.
Before that, what do you do?
Maybe to manage things.
Before that, what do you do?
Finding
What is expected out of
There is
them?
only one thing a manager does. Let me be very clear. Without that, nothing can be done.
Delegate.
Huh?
Delegate.
No. Before that, what do you do? Think.
Yeah, thinking, sir.
What are the deliverables to be?
You know one thing, I started my career at the lowest rung. I was a simple, ordinary graduate. No fancy titles, no fancy degrees. By total trial and error, I started growing up the ladder. In 17 years, I became a CEO. After that, I held the top position for nearly 30 years. And in my this entire career, I realized only one thing, that if you don't know how to do this, it is disaster in the happening. Tell me, what is that?
Observe.
Discipline.
Huh?
Discipline.
Did you know the culture?
No.
How I can contribute to increase value of the company.
All these are what? All these which you have said are all right. All of them are right. But they are all the second step. The first step you are missing. The only thing a manager ever does is decide, decision making. Who to delegate is a decision you take. To contribute or not is a decision you take. The strategy is a decision you take. I will follow this path. I will do this. These are all decisions. If you don't know the fundamental way of decision making, how will you do anything? Decision making is a science. It's not an emotion. Are you getting my point?
Decision making is a science, sir.
Yes, isn't it?
Oh, no. I thought that.
I will ask you a simple question, Bala. Very simple question.
Yes.
You are standing on this side of the road.
Hmm.
You have to go to the other side. What do you do?
Hmm.
What do you do?
I'll see that on both sides the road is.
Why not just start walking?
It should not be done.
Why?
It will be a problem for both, for us and for others also.
Then, so you see, now you have to decide when to move.
Yes.
So in the process, what do? You have a problem in front of you. There is traffic. You have to move. Right? There is a problem. You study the problem. How do you study the problem? You look left and right. On one side, you see there is a car coming at 40 feet distance. The other side, you see a car is coming at 10 feet distance. Now you decide. This 10 feet distance, if I try to cross, will come and hit me. But by the time I wait for the 10 feet car to come, the 40 feet car would have come to 20. All these calculations, permutations, what did you do? You collected information. Once you collected the information, then what did you do? You analyze the options. Then what did you do? You weighed the various alternatives which was available in front of you. Then you decided upon the action. Correct or not?
Yes, absolutely.
All these things you did
within
subconsciously
seconds.
only because you have been crossing road every day. But do you face the same problem every day in office? No.
No, sir.
So now your conscious will have to come up with this and try to learn it. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
You know why I'm telling all this? My 45-50 years of experience which I've got, I've distilled it into all those books which are 50 to 60 pages books. All this only I have explained there. Be it goal setting or decision making or being different or creating value, capturing value, all these things are there. For goodness sake, it is only 199 rupees you have to spend to download the Kindle Unlimited app, read those books. It will help you in your journey and also help you in understanding all these things, because the more firm the foundation is, the better will be your experience. Are you getting what I'm telling?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very much.
See, I'm not going to build a house on Mount Road because you download Kindle for 199. Please don't think that is the reason why I'm telling that. Okay. I'm telling that so that you will be able to enjoy and you will be able to understand the entire process.
Okay, sir. Got your point.
Nalla puriyudhu. You see, when I'm talking about goal setting has got a particular way of doing. See, I can keep on telling, but then It's all going over the head of 90% of the people.
Mm.
I don't know why. It's only 199 rupees, even that is too much. And in the process, you will be able to better understand the nuances of management. Well, it's okay. If someone says, no, I will not learn it, fine, good. Just imagine a simple thing like goal setting, how it can make a difference for you.
Mm.
A simple thing like how to take a decision in life, how much difference it can make. You know, once you internalize the process,
Mm.
you will be able to apply it in everything. Every second, Bala, you are making a decision, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Every second of the day, you are making a decision.
Mm.
And since most of the things you are doing is out of automaticity,
Mm.
where your behavior is ingrained in the subconscious, you are able to do it very easily without any stress and strain. But when it comes to conscious decision, we are assailed by doubt, we are assailed by fear. Correct or not?
Mm.
Should I go for a loan or not?
Yeah.
What sort of a partner should I look for? Should I launch this product? Should I address this guy? Should I admonish that person? Should I discipline him? All these things, we are keeping on constantly. Are we not buffeted by such questions?
Mm. This is too many thought process, too many options.
But if you knew what the process is, all that you will have to do is sit down in a corner, quietly lock the door, sit for 15 minutes in your chamber without disturbance. You will have the answer in front of you.
Mm.
Because it is also a science.
Okay.
Similarly, how to be different. See, you are in an ocean. There must be at least 5,000-6,000 employees, Bala, in your company.
Yeah, close to that, sir.
Close to that. You are one among them.
Yeah.
Now, you are also a name only in the master role. Correct or not?
Mm. Yeah.
How can you become different? How do you become the go-to person for the organization? How do you become the go-to person in the family? Why should the family members respect you? How can you differentiate between everyone else and yourself?
Mm.
They are very technical questions, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
I jokingly used to tell my family members, that my position in the family is between the dog and the carpet.
Between the dog and the carpet.
Yeah, the dog is on a slightly higher platform than me. By telling this, I used to make them feel guilty that they are not looking after me properly. See, how do you differentiate yourself? Like, there is something called a parity trap in this world. We are all alike. Now, how do you become different? As an employee, as a member of the family, as a businessman, as an industry? Isn't that important?
Absolutely.
So you see, all these things are there only in that book. Go ahead, download the Kindle app.
Yeah.
Subscribe to that Kindle Unlimited. It's only 199 rupees. Not only my book, you can read thousands of other books which are available on Amazon for free. You don't even have to spend a single penny after that.
Okay.
Monthly subscription is just 199 rupees. Just think that you took 2 of your friends and went and had coffee. Matter ends that. And you forget my book. You can read so many other books you can read on Kindle by downloading it, and you can read it.
Okay.
Millions of books are available.
Mm.
And you see, these books which I have written are about 50-60 pages. And you might recognize it because many of you have attended my courses. Those courses, small pieces have been taken, and it has all been converted into a story and has been presented.
Sir, we have to have a tab for using this Kindle.
Not necessarily, you can use it on your mobile also.
Mobile also? Okay.
Yeah, it is
Tomorrow
available.
itself I'll
It
do
is
it.
available for downloading on mobile, tab, desktop, iOS, Android, everything.
Okay, sir. Tomorrow itself I'll download.
Download, Read it, and I'm telling you, Suresh, it will be, see, one of the things I'm informing you people, Suresh is going to be giving all my programs in the future. All my
Oh,
programs
that's
I have
good.
given to Suresh. Suresh, he is going to be giving employee engagement, value proposition, business model, canvas, story, everything. I will only be giving big courses like this Blue Ocean strategy. Then there are 14 different ways of telling corporate storytelling and value messaging that I will be giving next. Then design thinking, the entire thing, design thinking in an AI world. I'm creating it. How design thinking can play an important role in the world of AI. That I will be giving all these things. Only I will be giving other things. All my other programs, Suresh will be giving. So it will be very useful, Suresh, if you go through all these things so that you will be,
Sure, sir. I will do it. I
your
will do it. I
foundation will
was under
become
the
strong.
impression tab only is needed. Now
A
that you have told, I
phone,
will.
simple phone, Android phone is more than enough. There are 3 different subscription models. 199 is for 1 month, 999 is for 6 months, 1799 is for 1 year. And every month you can read 20 books.
Tomorrow itself, I'll download and inform you, sir.
What I'm telling you is, all these books are 50 pages, 60 pages. Very easy. And then every step is explained in it. Every step by step, I have explained everything.
Kindle can be common,
Huh?
used on both mobile and laptop, and with one account it can be workable on both.
Yeah. अब ये तो पता नहीं है. You can just check up. I think it should be, multiple device compatible. It should be compatible multiple device. These are very simple. Yogesh ji, I can tell you. देखिए, आप लोग इतना खर्चा करके ये सब सीख रहे हैं, है कि नहीं? Then after spending so much of money, you are learning all these things. You need to spend only 199, that you will get everything. Then this time you can use to scale up to much bigger things in the management strategy. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Any questions? Sandhya ma'am, your next session, when is it we can have you? Please message to me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Maybe next week sometime we can have some.
Yeah, please you can message me.
Yes.
Or give me 1 or 2 dates alternative, so that in case others are there in that period, I will adjust.
Definitely,
Okay.
sir.
So you have already, that presentation is over? You have submitted?
No, I already submitted and they've given me the feedback. There are some changes to be done because I had some more pages and all. There are some restrictions. So I have to work on it. Maybe by tomorrow I'll submit. So then there is a presentation which I need to prepare. So 25th or 26th will be the presentation day.
Great. Others are allowed?
I'm not sure. This also I have no idea. I would definitely love to invite you, sir, on that.
I would love to, I think all the people here would love to come. Sandhya ma'am is presenting a paper in Abu Dhabi on payroll and how it can impact the organizations and employee engagement and motivation. Am I right, Sandhya ma'am?
Yeah. It is. It's a small research article on that payroll is just not processing salary. I'm just breaking that myth.
Great.
And for that, definitely Arun sir was a very great push for me, because I would just miss the deadline. And then when I was talking to Arun sir just pushed me, go. And he really supported me in giving some of the articles and some of the writings. And also, thank you for that, sir.
You remember, Sandhya ma'am had given this only during her DMT program.
DMT2.
DMT2. This was what was
I was literally enjoying, and I congratulated her.
Memory, Bala.
She has completed it, sir.
And now she is giving it in her in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah. So this is actually an international conference platform. where all the researchers, scholars, and all will be there. So we are given just 10 minutes to present it. But the article will go on some 10
Don't
pages.
say 10 minutes like that as if it is nothing. Sandhya ma'am,
Advance congratulations. madam.
never forget that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Yes, yes, yes.
This
So for
10
me-
minute might be the most defining moment in your life.
Definitely, sir. And yes, I wanted to take that opportunity. I don't want to, and thank you for, I should really thank you for that, sir. Otherwise, if that connection would not have happened on that day, I would have definitely just left it. But I really wanted to make that.
All the best, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Bala.
You generally do well, I know, but still, I will.
So we will
wish
wait for
you and we'll
25th,
pray for
ask
you.
them and send us the link.
All the best. All the best,
Sandhya
ma'am.
ma'am, wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
I know
Thank
you will rock, but do rock.
And any help you want, don't hesitate.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Not that you require, but then if you do,
No.
please don't
I cannot do it
hesitate.
on my own. Definitely, I cannot do it on my own. I need
My
big
advance
support.
wishes to Sandhya.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, folks.
Thank
Good night. And
you, Sandhya ma'am.
just a
All the
minute.
best.
Tomorrow, has anyone got any session? Just a minute. Yeah, discussion is Muttu. 25th is Vikas. Tomorrow is Muttu. Okay. Okay then. Thank you. Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Yeah,
Good
good
night.
night. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank
Good night, sir.
I will send the details. I'll send the what do you call it? The recording link.
Recording.